Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So yesterday, I started fixing up some things on the lower left, and I think they mostly look pretty good. There's just a couple of things that I want to adjust before I go in and really start cleaning everything. I felt like there was kind of a point over here somewhere that needed to floof out a bit, as always. Looking for that optimal level of floof. Very important. And I just didn't feel like that part was moving quite right. Especially when I compared it to what was going on over here. Yeah, I still see that spot not doing quite what I want it to do. I thought it was a bit lower than it was. But no, it's actually kind of up here. The part that I want to come out. Everything else should definitely be sticking in more. It'll make the part up here look floofier. Yeah, I got a little bit of sliding going on there, but I think that the floofy part is right. But it does look a bit weird going from here to here. I think it makes some amount of sense for it to be a little bit floofier on the lower turn, but perhaps not that much. Like I said, I gotta continue that quest for the optimal levels of floof. Because if it's off, it just won't look as good, and that'll be sad. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to find. So this morning, I got to have some fun. The S stages opened in the current Arknights event. And for people that do not play Arknights, S stages tend to be fairly difficult stages, meant for more endgame players that come up during certain events. And I resolved myself to only clear them with 5 stars, or lower. So no 6-star use at all. 6-star being the highest rarity and thus the most powerful units in the game. And so that was kind of a challenge. I was actually not expecting to do that here, but when I played through them yesterday, not a few days ago, just yesterday, with my husband, that these ones didn't seem too bad, so I decided to give it a try. And indeed, they weren't too bad at all. Managed to get through the first 3 and then do the MO stage. And it was a lot of fun. I don't know, I feel like it's actually letting me play Arknights again. Because for a while I would just take the same general squad every time. And it was a very, very lazy AFK squad. Where I could generally just sit around and talk to my husband. We just talked about funny things. Made a lot of jokes about what was happening. And that was fun, but at the same time, I kind of missed actually playing the cool tower defense game that made me keep playing it for so long. Because it is a good game, and it does have good stage design, and it lets you do a lot of cool things. Very flexible in how you're able to approach a lot of problems. So it's been a lot of fun to do it with lower rarity units only. Kind of weird, because I don't actually have a lot of lower rarity units built, compared to the number of 6 stars I have built. I very much have an endgame account here. So I'm getting to do things like think about which operators I want to build next to fill in holes in my current roster, and which operators will let me do certain other things and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's nice being able to just play the game again. And the stages this time around were easy enough that I felt like I could just do it with 5 stars without having to be super hardcore focused about it. Because I know that there's some people out there that do all these stages with like 4 stars only, and oh man, the real insane people that are able to do a bunch of them with 3 stars only. And do a bunch of cool tech to make it work. Well, a bit too hardcore for me. I don't have quite that much time to dedicate to video games. But doing it with no 6 stars has been a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I tried it. I like it quite a lot, and I think I will continue to do this. It's one of those cases where, you know, sometimes you just want to play the video game. Gotta make your own fun. I don't really blame the developers for the power creep and stuff, because I think that's what a lot of people want. But, I don't know, as the game has gone on, and I got a little bit lazier about doing things, I felt like something was lost, so I wanted to go rediscover that, and it was very much worthwhile. I'm having a good time. Most fun I've had in the game for a long time. Definitely makes for a nice little anniversary event. Kind of an anniversary for me too, because I started playing probably like 2 months before the first anniversary, so I can kind of use my, I can kind of use the actual anniversary as my anniversary of playing too. I was just a year off. The downside is I had to use a lot of brain to figure out some of the strategies there. And it's a little bit tired, and I think it's showing in my rigging ability right now. I am finding myself a little bit more lost and confused than usual. But it's okay, I'll get there. I'm able to see things well enough to do what I want, and I think that's what matters here. I might just be a little bit slower about it than usual. But I think that's okay. I don't need to rush. All is well. I get to look closely at things and just marvel at how pretty her hair is. I do that a lot, because I really like the way the artist in this that works in this game draws hair. I think it's very nice. Not in a way that I think I want to try to replicate or anything, but something that I definitely really like looking at. I think that's one of those cool things about art, in that you can look at what other people do and just think it's the coolest thing ever, but not necessarily want to do it yourself because it just doesn't match up with the direction you want to take your own art. But you can still just look at it and be like, man, that's nice. It's nice to have multiple people working on things. And the different perspectives and ideas that come through to it. Then you get lots of cool things. And you don't have to make it yourself. You can just go look and be like, yeah, cool stuff. And you can just focus on making the things that you want to make instead. It's wonderful. And everyone gets cool stuff. That said, I'm sure that there's plenty of things I can learn about drawing hair from studying Path to Nowhere's art. And so I may do so at some point. I certainly learned a lot just cutting out all the art here so that I could rig it. Because I had to redraw a lot of things, and I tried to match the style as best I could. I don't think I did terribly, but there are some spots that feel a little bit more mine than they do the original artists, and I'm a little... I wouldn't say unhappy about that, I think it's inevitable, but I do hope that I can do a little bit better for the next one. Trust me, there will be a next one. I'm having too much fun doing all this, so there will definitely be a next one. I think I've mostly got the floof the way that I want it. I think. So now I'm just trying to get some of these shadows in the right spot here. Some of them I feel like are squirming quite a bit. Most of the other things are pretty good though, so that's why I'm kind of moving into the cleaning up phase, because I'm pretty happy with how things look overall. Yeah, and that's doing a little bit better here. Still feel like I got a slight bulge and stuff over there. But that's what all this cleaning process is for. Just gotta pull some of this down here. I think I pulled some of it up a little bit earlier, and I think I just did it a little bit too much. As is prone to happening, but that's okay. I'll just keep trying to fix it until I'm happy. That's how it goes. Make little adjustments, then check them and go back in to get things just right. It is the rigging way. And that's why it takes so long. See, but I'm honestly pretty happy to be sharing some of this with the internet. So I hope that next time you watch someone with a model like this, whether it's another VTuber or anything else. You just have some more appreciation for all the work that went in order to bring that character to you, so that this way you could watch them. So this is just the art side of it. I haven't really talked about a lot of the streaming side of things, but I've been thinking about that a lot lately too. At some point, I will be throwing this into the tracking program, so you'll be able to see how all of that works too. I will stream that as well, setting up all the parameters and probably molding over, getting everything just right. I will be calibrating it with my head, because that's what I got access to. But the good news is that if you know how to do it, that means you can just grab a model from the internet and set it up yourself. And try things, and it'll be fun. Even if you decide not to stream. Sometimes being a puppeteer is just a good time all around. That is basically how I see these models. They are basically just digital puppets, and I think that's pretty neat. It's something that I've seen some indie VTubers talk about, of just, how do you tell your family what you do? You know, old people and stuff. And people even older than me, if you can believe it. But I don't actually think it's that hard. It really is just being a digital puppeteer. You're just putting on a sweet puppet show. And it's a good time. And it being digital gives you some more options that you wouldn't be able to do with a physical puppet of any type. And stuff like that. And then from there, it's just putting on some type of show. I don't actually think it's hard to explain at all. You just gotta think from the perspective of the old people. What do they understand? So I don't actually think that there's anything particularly deep or esoteric about what we do. It's just a new phenomenon that some people may not completely understand. Actually, it makes me a little bit sad at how cringe some people seem to think that doing stuff like this is, and telling people in real life that actually know them what they're doing. Because it's like, yeah, people I know in real life know that I stream. A lot of them even watch it. I know this because sometimes they tell me things that happened, or things that I said. But I think it's good. It's like, I'm out here making stuff. Why wouldn't I want the people that I know to actually see what I'm doing? Sometimes I feel the cringe a little bit. It was worse earlier on when I was a little bit less confident in my content, but it's not so bad now. Now I feel like I have more good streams than bad streams, so I'm pretty happy to when people actually tell me that they're watching it and talk about things that I say. I think it's cool. Oh yeah, I'm always a little bit sad when people don't like to share their content and the stuff that they're making with people that they know. Because even if it's a little bit silly, I think that there's a lot of worthwhile stuff in the performances that people put on. And I think it's a little bit sad to think that what you're making is, not worthwhile or too cringe or whatever else, that you don't want people that know you to see all the stuff that you've been working so hard on. I think it's a bit sad. It makes me a little sad. This being a general it's just some stuff that I've seen from people on the internet. But for me, my internet self has never been that different from my real life self, so I use them pretty much interchangeably. Okay. This is unrelated to anything, but I gotta fix it. It's, too far off and looks weird, so I gotta fix it. I want her to be able to shake her head back and forth. And have it look good. So I guess that means I'm going to be fixing the lower right just a little bit more here. It's okay. I get the feeling that as I continue to get closer to the finish line, I'm going to be jumping around a lot more. Just seeking out whatever is annoying me the most in the moment. I might actually want to do a lot more work with some of this and floof this out a little bit more nicely or something. I haven't decided yet. It's like, it's not terrible. But there's still something that feels a little bit wrong in how things move back and forth here. Top part aside, wow, I didn't actually notice how far off that was. How the heck did I just not notice that until just right now? I mean, look at the very top here. Just the way it really does not know what is going on. Wow. Somehow, I just completely did not see it. I am surprised. Did I, like, accidentally move that at some point, though, or has it been like that the entire time? Man, my brain really must be fried from doing hard Arclight stages with 5 stars. It's okay. We all have days like this. I'll do my best. I'm just like, man, what the heck, brain? My eyes, they are blind today. I've known that I've needed new glasses for a while, which is why I've ordered them, but they're not gonna come for another week. Am I doomed to another week of blindness? I guess we'll find out. Hopefully not. The other day, I found a neat little YouTube channel that... Or I guess... It was one channel, but just a rabbit hole in YouTube that I had never seen before of people making homemade dolls. And I think that's pretty rad. Just seeing what they do to actually put them all together. Another case of looking at other people's art that I think is super neat, but may not have any desire to make myself. But oh man, is it super neat. I am glad that I found it. I think just watching completely different techniques like that is just always a lot of fun. And how precise they have to be with all those tiny little tools in order to get the sizing right and all of that. See, anytime that I handle knives like that, I'm always afraid of cutting myself. But, seeing them fairly casually just cutting holes in a head just so that they can put eyes in there. Very interesting to me. I kind of want to show them to my daughter, because I think she will like that a lot. Just the idea that you can make your own dolls. I've been wanting to put the idea of making things into my kid's head as much as I can. Because I think that making things would just makes every aspect of your life better. I mean, if you ask me personally, I think that your life is something that you build too. Not something that happens to you. Something that you actively put an effort and construct from the ground up. It's a good way to live. And so feeling like you can make things when you're a tiny one, I think will increase the odds that they feel like that they can build their own lives, so I heavily encourage it. My son has been super into blocks, which always makes me happy. So he's well on his way, and the older one seems very interested in storytelling with her various dolls and stuffed animals and stuff. So I think she's well on her way too. Man, I kind of feel like I'm working at half speed. It's okay. Like I said, some days, sometimes your brain not entirely here. And that's fine. Especially since I stream every day. It's unavoidable. Oh man, but I'm getting there. I do think that it's looking pretty good. I think it's gonna be great once I can just get all of these various parts just exactly the way I want them. I do feel like it gets better just every time I go around in circles. And if I see anything that just looks vaguely paper-like, I kind of want to go through and tackle it again. I feel this way a lot about the hair, like, over her shoulder. I don't know, it feels kinda not three-dimensional at all. So, at some point, I'm gonna want to revisit that, but I've just been more focused on this part of her hair. It actually might just be that I'm moving this hair down here a little bit too much. Since it is supposed to be kind of resting on her shoulders and stuff, I might be able to get away with not moving it quite as much. I'm not sure. I think I might actually revisit this hair on her shoulder after I do some of the body turns. Because if the idea is that the hair is resting on the shoulder, then it would make sense that it would move with her body, and considering that the way you move a VTuber's body, at least a 2D one, for the moment, isn't with proper body tracking, it's with the head. So my body moves the same way my head does. I just have certain delays and various things there in there to make it look a little bit more natural. So I might end up rigging all of those parts together instead of doing them separately. I'm trying to think about how things track a little bit more, because I wasn't thinking about that much at all when I did my first model, because I didn't do much tracking before I actually made this model for myself. Before that, it was just a lot of messing around. Made some animated GIFs, and it was a good time. I really do want to learn a lot more about tracking. The technology behind it's pretty cool. And I think learning some about how it's put together might be kind of cool, but for the most part, I just am thinking about it from a more practical standpoint of how do I make my models look a little bit nicer while they're moving around. It's funny, because when I started this, I was actually wanting to learn how to make animated portraits for games. Because I thought that was cool. And then suddenly I went down the rabbit hole of becoming an anime girl on the internet, and stuff happened. And now there's just so many more things that I want to see and try. And I got exposed to a whole ton of new technology that I think is just super interesting and cool. So I'm very glad that I did it all. It's like I get to go out there and just... I can look in any direction, and I'm just like, oh man, that's shiny. That's so neat. Let's see how this works and what you can do with it. It's like I was thinking of doing some tests with a new model, but honestly, maybe I should just pull my model back into the rigging program and just poke around with it some more and learn a thing or two about tracking. I don't know. I might do that. Make a backup copy and see what I can do. Try to make some cool stuff to show off for everyone. For all the people that want to watch. Alright, I'm trying something. I'm going in here. Hopefully this does not end in disaster for me, but there's just something about the way that this hair is sitting here that is not doing it for me. So I want to try to fix that. And it's also very possible that I might have to fix it up here too. Yeah, in fact, I think I do. So let's do it here as well, because what I was looking at was, okay, so her head is moving to the left. Goes from here, and then it goes to the left. This hair up here, where it connects to the little part coming out of the roots, not moving at all. It is just chilling there. But if you look, like, at this little corner right there where it first connects, I think it might move very, very slightly to the left. But not really. So I think that might be my problem here. So we're moving things. I'm a little terrified, but I think it'll be okay. I just gotta believe. And then do a bunch of work to, like, reattach things properly. That's okay. That's to be expected. I've kind of gotten used to it. So I'm trying to move a little bit gingerly because I'm scared, but I think it'll be okay. I think all will be well. Because, yeah, the theory here seems pretty good. That might be a little bit too much, but I do like it in theory. Let me pull it back just a little, and then I'll worry about getting the part underneath here looking a little bit better. Gonna have to do some science, I think. Try some things and see what happens. Where is that layer? Okay, it's right here. Oh man, now I really have to try to think three-dimensionally again. Try to make sense of how the hair is actually functioning here, because I've been faking it for most of this and kind of hoping that it works out. Sometimes I think about it right, but right here, I'm definitely faking it. So let's try to actually get it right now. So when I go from here to here, what is the hair doing? What is it doing? So we have this spot coming out of her roots. It goes up like that. And then I'm turning it. So we'd see a little bit more of, like, the side. So this way we'd see less of what's underneath here and more of the hair on top. So I probably do not actually have this rigged right, but I'll cross that bridge later. So in theory, this should be coming out, and then this, and then draping kind of over like this. So we should see a little bit less of that. But on this side, it's going to be coming over here and then draping a little bit more off to the side, so we see a little bit more of it. So that much is correct. Thinking about how this hair turns and drapes over here. But when I look down here, where I have kind of a similar effect going on with the bang draping over the front and the side bang draping over that way, you can kind of see that we see a little bit more of it here and a little bit less of this side here. And then over here, we see like none of the side and a lot more of this side. So I kind of want to do something similar over here, but what does it mean to see more of that? You can see that I also changed the shadow bits from here to how it is over here. So what does it mean for this to turn? How should those shadow bits be changing? Ooh, that's a question. Probably a very bad question to be asking when my brain is super dead from playing video games. And thinking too hard. But I'll do my best. Let's see here. My first thought... Okay, let's try some things here. Where's the layer? There it is. My first thought was that... How to explain? The angle here might become a little bit steeper. Something like that, maybe. No, that doesn't seem right. Is it the opposite, then? Do I actually want to be pushing this... like, this way? See, the real problem is that I just don't quite understand that bit of hair and what it's doing. Let me look at my Shalom reference real quick here. Just the original. Nope. Not giving me any new information here. This is just one of those things that I gotta think about and figure out. So... the idea is that it's coming out of the roots of her hair and then folding over itself. But it's funny because when I look at it, it doesn't look concave at all. You know, it's too bad that I never gave myself a now loading toggle. That's kind of how I feel right now. Just the loading screen on my forehead. Okay. But I'm at least having thoughts, so I will try them. See what happens. Sometimes that's what it comes down to, just get an idea and see... Oh, yeah, that actually does work. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm onto something, I think. As Vivi said yesterday, path to somewhere. Yeah, I think that could actually be leading to something. Alright. Was confused for a while, still am pretty confused if I'm being entirely honest, but I have a direction. And when it comes down to it, a lot of the time you don't actually need all the answers, you just need a direction to move in. And as long as you get a little bit closer, and you can play a game of hot and cold with yourself, something might actually happen. Okay, that's a little bit too much. I do think I want those areas to be moving a little bit further to the left, though. That, I think, was right. I just did it too much. So let me try again. But man, if I can get this right, I think that'll make everything look pretty neat. Still got a lot to figure out, but I think I am on the right track. Might get a little bit quiet because I am thinking hard. It's been a while since I've had to think this hard. Past little bit, it's like there's been a few parts where I got something I want to figure out, but not quite with the same intensity that I'm feeling right now. Am I actually onto something here? Maybe this is a rabbit hole for future me. So I feel like there's something there, but I can't quite find the right angle to go about it. Okay. Well, in that case, let's derp around with some stuff down here. I'm definitely not going to be able to do more over here until I fix that, so... maybe find some more optimal levels of floof for over here, too. Because I think that the floof here is very suboptimal. Yeah, I think that could be pretty cool in theory. I have to find the right balance of everything, but seems pretty interesting. I'll go take a look at that. And I'll probably want to figure out what to do with this underneath area over on this right side as well if I'm going to do this, but again, maybe tomorrow. Brain says it's had enough. You know, today was supposed to be weekly speed paint day, but I might end up doing it tomorrow, too. We shall see. You know, it makes me sad that a lot of these events in gacha games tend to be time limited, and that I can't just take the stages that I was doing today at my own pace there. Just do them whenever there's time. probably wouldn't have pushed my brain so hard today if that was not something I had to contend with. Okay, yeah, that seems pretty cool. I think it's a little bit better than what I had before. And similarly, there's that pink area up at the top here that I think I can do a little bit more with. So let's look at that too. And honestly, I think that the floof levels here are so suboptimal, it's sad. So I definitely need to fix that up. Alright, we're gonna make this, like, so round. It's gonna be the roundest thing I've done this week. Let's go. Just changing everything. Give me more to fix in the lower right. It'll be fine. Trying to think of how this actually should be shaped if I want it to be the super round self that it was over here. Because I kind of felt like it was being stretched out as opposed to being turned. But at the same time, it's really hard to turn that. I'm having trouble picturing it in my head. And at least this time I know it's not just because I'm slightly brain dead right now, but genuinely, at every time I've tried to make this good on this side, I've had a hard time picturing what it should look like. I swear, rigging is doing more for my perspective learning than anything else. Hello there, Inochi2D. How are you doing today? Today, I am tired. My head hurts. It'll be okay. Oh, well, that's too bad. I hope it feels better soon. I don't know if I'm onto something here or not. Doesn't really feel like it. I just have the very top of this going a little bit too far to the right. Do I need to pull it back a bit? Let's find out. First, I want to kind of collapse some of this because I feel like it's just sticking out too much. Actually, I do think that's a little bit better. I think it's still... I think I pushed it too far to the left there, but I do think that is a better spot for it. So there's that at least. Okay, yeah, I think that helped a little bit. I'll definitely have to fix some things over here again. That's alright, I can do that. But I still feel like the floof levels are suboptimal. Very much so. It's okay, might just take a couple of tries to get it all right. Okay, I think I see a potential issue as well, where, although her head is moving, the back looks like it's staying in roughly the same place. I'm not actually sure if that's correct. It might be. Let me actually look at my hand mirror here to the side. Yeah, I guess the way I have it is probably fine. I think it makes sense. What is wrong? Just finding so many other things to dig into when I don't have the brain power to actually dig into them properly. Oh, that's okay. I'll get it started, and I'll take another look at it tomorrow. We'll just make it so her head can move back and forth nicely. I do think it's a little bit better than it was before. Yeah, I'd say so. Might still be able to do something a little bit more with the left turn here, and something in the hair here. I don't know, something about the way it's turning is still a little bit off to me. Still makes it look a little bit thin. Yeah, so I think that's probably what I will look into tomorrow, and just try to figure out these last few things that just don't seem to quite look right, and then just gradually expand it until everything is just fantastic, and I can make her spin. Honestly, this spin is a lot better than it was last week, so I think that everything that I've been doing has been making a difference. Very nice. Alright, but I do think that this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.